Hello folks, welcome back to Saddle Up Shooting. I'm Dave Strohmeyer, your host. Today I'll be showing you another caliber cartridge combination that is my favorite for the AR-15. Now I say my favorite because I only demonstrate cartridges and rifle combinations that I actually own. So my 5 favorite may not be yours. There are some people shooting out here. They're about 400 yards away shooting their pistolas. So don't let that noise bother you, because I'm going to be making some noise of my own here in a few minutes. Target set up at 100 yards. Let's get to shooting. Okay folks, up on the bench is my 6mm-ARC. Tech specs and history. Okay, the history of the 6mm-ARC was created by Hornady around 2000, standardized by SAAMI. Went through some problems because of COVID and lack of products and only one company making the cartridges. Now this cartridge was originally set up to use the long and lean high BC 243 caliber bullets. As a matter of fact, Hornady only made them in the 103 grain, 105 grain, 108 grain bullet combinations. But I have found that through shooting this thing and hand loading for it, it really shines in the lighter calibers, the 75, 80, and 90 grain. Really shines. You get fantastic speed, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you here today. Alright, so my rifle is basically it's a Sanders Armory Complete Upper that I've had for, well, since 2001. Shoots really good. The cartridge itself was a little bit finicky because of the limited numbers that we had from reloading sources. So you had to kind of be careful on your workup, because with these small caliber cartridges, you know, 30, 31 grains, 32 grains of capacity, you can spike pressure pretty fast. And the AR-15 is only supposed to be shot up to 52,000 pounds pressure, not the 55 PSI that you can use in a bolt action. And as a matter of fact, Hornady in their manual does distinguish 2 different loading capacities, one for the AR-15 and the other for a bolt gun. Okay, well, the target is set up at 100. Okay, location, I'm out here on Bureau of Land Management land. Yes, there's some fellers out here shooting, so you're going to hear some pow-pow. All right, more about my rifle here. As I said, it's a Sanders Armory 24-inch barrel. I have a Magpul PRS Gen 3 stock, a Rise Armament R140 trigger set right at about 3 pounds. I have a VCM charging handle. The scope that I have is a Monstrum Tactical 6x24x50. This rifle shoots pretty good. Okay, conditions. It's about 30 degrees. Sun is over here, so it's kind of going to give me a little bit of a mirage. The wind is about 5 miles an hour, going from east to west. All right, well, let's go ahead and get these shots done here. Okay, let's go over the rounds that I'll be shooting today. Starting here is the 75 grain Hornady VMAX. Next is the Sierra 80 grain Blitz. Next is the Hornady 90 grain ELDX. Next is the Nosler 100 grain Partition. And over here, the last one is the Hornady Black ammunition, which is 105 grain boat tail hollow point. And let's go ahead and get to the shooting. So I'm just going to move on to the 80 grain Sierra. Happens to be my favorite bullet. It is really good for antelope size on down to varmint. The speed coming out of this 24-inch barrel is 3,040 feet per second, and it's fairly accurate, at least last time I shot it. But let's go ahead and verify on the target. 3 shots just above the last one I shot. All right, still left. Still left. All right, so it looks like a real good group. I'm going to go ahead and move my scope. Looked like my scope is in mil radians, so, oh, excuse me, is in MOA. So that would be approximately 4 clicks to the right. Let's go ahead and do that. Set up, shoot again. Okay, up is the the 90 grain ELDX by Hornady. This is a great crossover round for deer-sized game, antelope, on down to varmints. It's designed with that high BC bullet that is designed for the 6mm ARC, that if you're a target shooter, long distance shooter, will stay supersonic past 1,000 yards. But for hunting, I like to keep these smaller cartridges under 350 yards for maximum energy on target that doesn't go below 1,000 pounds of energy for at least deer-sized game. For obviously varmints, that doesn't matter. Okay, let's go ahead and shoot this baby. Be the target just to the right of the last one I shot. I adjusted the scope, so hopefully it moved over some. Okay, what was that? Okay, I ejected that round, had to mortar it out. The reason why you have to mortar it out is because you can't recock unless you go through the whole cycle to reset your trigger on an MSR. I can't show you that on YouTube, but you get the idea. You can look it up and find out what's going on. Alright, so I looked at the cartridges. Yeah, there's quite a bit of sootiness right at the shoulder. That tells me that either my chamber is real dirty or that shoulder is not set back far enough for that case to fully seat. It's a great safety valve when you can pull the trigger and it goes click rather than have some type of explosion or malfunction that you may not like. Alright, let's give this a shot. Find out if this shot's okay. You saw the previous two on there. Didn't shoot too bad. Oh, take it off safety. Wow, that looks okay. Alright, so let's move on. Sometimes you learn more from failure to fires on these ARs than you do from everything that just works like a machine, because that allows you to thoroughly understand the working parts of your rifle so that you can get it right. Alright, so let's move on. These are 100 grain Nosler Partition rounds. Now, anybody that hunts knows how good the Nosler Partition has been since 1958, I believe, for hunting purposes. It's a dual core, designed not to come apart, to drive right through an animal. Now, 100 grain for this 6mm ARC, I have shot one deer. It was a high shoulder shot straight through. So let's go ahead and see now how these shoot at the target just below the last one I shot. Let's hope I've got the failure to feed problems taken care of. That looks like a pretty good little group. Now these partitions are not known for tremendous accuracy, but they are known for what they do on an animal. Okay, so let's go ahead and shoot the last 3 shots now, which will be the 105 grain factory Hornady Black. These have not been accurate in my rifle, but you know, when they had that COVID problem and shortages, I had to buy a bunch of these just so I could have the cases, because Hornady did not have the cases to sell to reloaders. So let's go ahead and give these a shot now. People swear by them for their accuracy, but I can tell you in my rifle, they have not been. But watch it make a liar out of me just for fun, because I am doing this video. Alright, so it'll be the target just to the right. Now these, so that you know, those Noslers were going out of my rifle at 2,810 feet per second. And these, according to the box, was 2780. I think I actually got about 28 even on them. Alright, so target to the right. Alright, so for some reason, and I don't know that reason, but you can see that 2 grouped together and one's just a little off. But for hunting purposes, that's not enough to make a heck of a lot of difference. Okay. These are 75 grain VMAXs, traveling out of my rifle right at 3,100 feet per second. A real explosive and good varmint round. I've shot rock chucks with this round. Clear out to about 400 yards or just shy, but that was probably luck. But inside of 300 yards is pretty dead on. Alright, so it'll be the target right next to the last one I shot. Okay, pretty good little group there. Alright, well, let's get back to the barn, analyze the 6mm-ARC. I think you'll be happy with the information that I've provided you today. It is a dandy little cartridge. I just wish that Hornady would have done better on its rollout, but it wasn't all their fault. You know, lack of components, COVID restrictions by stupid government rules, all of those things caused an in-supply balance. But since then, people have caught on and really enjoy it for all 3 phases of shooting: for hunting, for bench, for long-range shooting because of high ballistic coefficients. Reloaders love it. Alright, so let's go ahead and analyze these targets, get the heck out of here. See you in a while. Okay, let's go over these targets. As you saw, this was my first warm-up shot here, but let's go to the 80 grain Sierra Blitz, 3,020 feet per second, .454, pretty good little group. Then the 90 grain Hornady ELDX, 2,910, even though I had a malfunction here, still did a group of .701. The 100 grain Nosler Partition, 2,805 feet per second, .484, pretty good little group there. Alright, then over here we got the 105 grain Hornady factory black ammunition, 2,800 feet per second out of my rifle, .807, not bad for factory load. Okay, then over here was the best for last, 75 grain VMAX, 3,105 feet per second, and a group size of .367. So I'm pretty happy with the shooting today. Alright, but here's what most of you like to have as comparison. So let's take a look at the comparison right here between the 6mm ARC with a 90 grain Hornady ELDX and a 6.5 Grendel with a 90 grain Spear TNT. Okay, let's start over here with the Grendel. 2,957, so it is faster than the 90 grain over here, but a real low ballistic coefficient of 0.281. It is a varmint round. Okay, so as you can see, out to 300 yards, my energy is clear down to 862. For varmints, that doesn't matter, but a 13.4 inch drop. All right, then over here we've got a little bit better situation. 2,910, a ballistic coefficient of 0.409. The ELDX is a deer round. So let's go down to 300 yards. I still have an energy of 1,052, only a 12.2 inch drop. So 862 over here to 1,052 over here. 13.4 inch drop, 12.2 inch drop. So the 6mm ARC does win with the same weight bullet. Okay folks, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and check your subscriptions please. But no matter what, as usual, God bless you all. See you again next time. Goodbye.